Hello everybody. Today I would be presenting Social Data Mining Techniques Assignment 2, in which I will show the real-time data collection. So I have built an API that would be using the Flask platform in Python and would be interacting with the two platforms of social media. One is Twitter and another one is Facebook. And we would be posting information on Twitter or Facebook account using our Python Flask application. And parallelly, the data would be stored in MongoDB client as expectations in the assignments. We are using Firefox in order to present the front end, but one can also use Mozilla Firefox or any other browser. So, first of all, giving an overview, we need to log into our API with the username and password that has been mentioned in the application, and then after that, we need to choose one social media, that is either we want to post on Facebook or want to post on Twitter, and then we would add any feed in the form and then simply click post. Then this same post or feed would be stored in the database with many parameters of information, for example date, time and user ID, things like that. In JSON, the data would be stored in our MongoDB, and message would also be reflected on the front end of our application and obviously on the Facebook page or Twitter page. So this is the details or overview about our application that I have explained. So let's proceed further. This is the front end of our application. Whenever we will run our application, then this would be the first page to appear. In this you can see that we need to add username and password, and there are three main buttons that I have added: home, about us and contact us. So this is the home page that we are currently on. So if the information added in this username and password is not correct, then this would give us an error, but if it's correct, then this would further show us the two menus that way we want to post data on. The first one is Twitter and the second one is Facebook. When we'll choose Twitter, then this would appear on the front end, and in this box we can add any information or any feed, hashtags, anything like that in order to post. When we will post the message, then this success message will appear in front of us, and if there is some error, then this error in posting the message would appear in front of us. Whenever successfully we will update the Twitter feedback, then this is the example of the data that would appear in the MongoDB. So the information would be parallelly updated whenever we will post any of the tweet on the Twitter account. So this is the Facebook page that appears that will appear on the application whenever we will choose the Facebook menu. So this same menu will appear, and in that we can simply add the feedback, as in case of Twitter we have updated the feedback. So sometime if the status ID of the feed or the information is as it is as the earlier, then the duplicate status message will show in our application. For example, if we are updating the same status, then this would be displayed on our screen. So this is the screenshot of my Facebook page that I have created. So this is the post try page that I have created in my Facebook account. So I am interacting with the Facebook page on my account. So this is how as you can see that this is Techie app. I have created a Techie app application on Facebook, and so I am interacting with the tech. My application is interacting with the Techie app. So this Techie app is interacting with the Facebook page. So this is getting posted by the Techie app. So this is the sample data that would be stored in the Facebook collection that I've created on MongoDB. So this sort of data would be created whenever we will add any post. Thank you. So let's move to the coding part. So let's move to the coding part now. In this, as you can see that we have imported various packages. First of all, the Flask. In Flask, we have imported several libraries that are needed in our function. And second one is PyMongo, and we are importing PyMongo just because in order to collaborate with the MongoDB database. We are using TVP in order to integrate our API with Twitter account API, and we are using a Facebook package just to interact with the Facebook API. Further moving down, we have imported the media keys, and this is the file in which I have wrote the different configuration files. For example, for Twitter, we need to have these four keys: API key, API secret key, access token secret. These are all I have accessed from the Twitter developer account. When we built an application over there, then we can access this over there. Going down, we I have defined a connection string. This is the connection string of the MongoDB for integrating our application with the MongoDB cloud database. We need to add a connection string here. With respect to Facebook, we need only one FB access token that is shown on the screen, and this is the Facebook page ID that I have given. This is the page. This is the ID of the page that I have created in my ID. So whatever I would be pushing from my application would be printed or updated on the Facebook page, and the ID of that Facebook page is the given. Okay, so this is the main file, app initialization part, and we are using Flask to create an app. Moving further, we are using NoSQL database, and in this, I am giving the connection string to the Mongo client for making a connection. As you can see, that connection string is in media keys file, so it will take from the media keys file, this one. Okay, so this is the database name that I have added, and these are the two collections that I have created in my database. So these are the two collections that I have created in the database. As you can see, that this is the name of the data. So going further, the first function that I have defined is the post data tweet. And in this, first of all, I am giving the keys, API key and API secret key to authenticate by the TVP package. So when once it will authenticate, then it would further authenticate the access token that I have already written in the media keys file, and access token secret. Once these secret keys are authenticated, then we will move further in the API, and then it will authenticate finally. This is the status message that would be updated once we will update any tweet. These are the parameters of information that we would be updating in our MongoDB client whenever we will update any information, whenever we will update any feed on the application. Then these are the parameters of information related to that field would be saved in the MongoDB client. There are almost like 30 parameters of information related to one feed that we can add in our database that Twitter provide, but these are the few that I have choose to show. For example, you can see that here these are the hashtags and URL and the date. We can add any hashtags in our feed, and any URLs that we would be adding would become under this, and the date of that tweet, and the status ID of the tweet would automatically be different for every tweet, and these would be the Twitter handle and the user ID. So I have added this function just because in order to check that if the status ID, as we can see that whenever we would update any feed, then there would be one status ID assigned to that. So in order to check that if one status ID and the information regarding to one field is updated in the MongoDB client, then I just wanted to make sure that the duplicates never occur. So this would check that if the data in the MongoDB client is already there, and if not, this would add a new one, and if there is the data, then there would be the duplicate values, and the data would not be added in the MongoDB client. Going further, this is the Facebook function that I have created. In this, we are using Graph API, and in this we are using Graph API Facebook, and in this we are giving the access token. As I have mentioned that only the access token is needed in respect to Facebook. So first of all, it will authenticate as in the case of Twitter. And in this, we are giving the three different values under this. As you can see that the first among is parent object, we would give the FB page ID and the keys. And the second one, this is the connection name. Connection name means what we are going to do on the Facebook page. For example, we are going to post a feed, then we have written feed here, and our message in the text format. Whatever the message we will be posting, then as we have defined the three parameters here. So, for example, ABC 123. So I have initialized the message thing. In this part, authentication and post message would parallelly occur, and this would authenticate, and also the information would be posted using this part. So going further, this is the status ID that we have added in the database, and it would match in the database. So in our database, we need, whenever we would put a post, then we would be retrieving the posted data to our database using this function. This is the MongoDB query in order to check that if the duplicates exist in the database. So I have set this upset true, and if the duplicates would be there, then the no feed would be updated, and if the duplicates are not, normally it would show us the success option, and then our data would be updated. Then I have used this decorator as the first one. The home would be our index page, and that would be rendered to the login page. So whenever we will log in to our application, normally this would be the page. This would be the page that that would show on the screen. Once we are logged in our application, this would be the page to choose the menu would be displayed on the screen. And this is the base page for our entire application. This base page would be extended by all the HTML files. Going further, now in home page I have created a login function in which we would be getting and posting the data as declared above. In this, first of all, we would request the request method that we are using is post in this case. So first of all, the username that I have set here is GURV, and the password that I have defined here is 1234. So, and in any manner, whatever we will add, these initials would be compared. So if these are the password and username, then only the application would log in, and if not, then error would be rendered. So whenever we would log in our application, then for going further, there would be the two options: either to post on the Twitter and or either to post on the Facebook. So these are the T post and F post. So when we will log in, then there would be choice. For example, here you can see that in home page, whatever we would be clicking, and then we would be proceeding further. For example, I have added a link for the T post, and then here with respect to F post. So in address variable, whatever we will choose, for example, if we will click T post, then it would save the T post in that, and then media would be declared as a Twitter, and if not, if F post is choose, then media would be declared as Facebook. And then going further, in TF-HTML, the social media would be the one that we would be choosing here. So here the message would appear that if it's social is Facebook, and to the message we posted in Facebook, and if it's like Twitter, then the message would be posted in Twitter. So going further down, as you can see that whenever we would be posting anything, then the values of that tweet would be posted and in the format of a text form, the data would be stored in the form of text. So here in tweet, as I have explained this earlier, that this is the function that we would be using for the tweeter. So in this, as you can see, that status, in this status, the status would be updated. So when as you can see that we are only using the post method here, so I have used the post method in that. If it's the post tweeter, then this function in this we would be like adding the string and the post data, whatever we would be whatever there would be in the form, then that would be shown on the screen, and the result, the data would be stored in this result and would be rendered to the tf html and would be stored in the result variable. And this is the same in case of Facebook. For example, whatever if we will choose Facebook, then the FE message would be stored in the post data, as we would get it from the request form that is in the HTML file, and then this would render the result on the TF HTML page and would be updated in the database. So this is the main we have used this function just to declare the main file, and we have added the debug mode true. So in order to make sure that whenever we are making changes are reflecting on the front end. So let's show how our application works. This is the front end of our application. I will log in using the credentials that were there. As you can see that there is error as I have added the wrong credentials. So let's see that what are the exact credentials. So it's 1 2 3 4. So it would give us the two options. For example, first one is Twitter and second one is Facebook. So whenever we will click on Twitter, then we can post anything. Test application. So it says success in posting the message. So let's check our Twitter account that if the post has been shared. So as you can see that the test application, this is what we have updated in our application, has been updated on the front end. So let's check in our MongoDB database that if the information has been updated in our database. So you can see that here the test application hashtag and the information related to our tweet has been updated. These are the parameters of information that we have used. So this is the username, this is the tweet text and hashtag that we are using here. So this shows that the data is getting stored in the Twitter database. So let's post our data again. So let's post data on Facebook. So we'll choose Facebook. So as you can see that success in posting the message, so it means that our message has been posted on our Facebook page. So let's refresh it and see. Yeah, as you can see that our feed has been successfully updated on the Facebook via Techie app. So this is the name of the application that I have created in Facebook developer account. So this is interacting by with the Facebook via this app. So it is published by this app. So let's see that if the information related to Facebook has been updated in our database or not. So as you can see that this tweet has been this feed on the Facebook page has also been updated in our database. So there are like 4 or 5 parameters that I have explained in this, defined in this. So these are the information that is updated in JSON format in our database. So basically these are the HTML files that I have created. This is the base file. This is kind of the main file for the entire designing. So in this I have used Bootstrap and imported the further JS queries, and I have also added some of the CSS files wherever needed in the HTML code. For example, here I have added for hover on the main um, for getting hover on the main title. So this is the what I have included. So going further, this is the home page that I have created, in which we get the two menus, T post and T F post, as shown on the screen. And this is the login page that I have built using a simple HTML page, and in all those pages I am extending the base.html file. So this is kind of one file that has been extended to all the different files. So this is the message that would be displayed on the screen, and whenever we would be entering the text. So this is same for both the Facebook and the Twitter account. So whatever the values or whatever we would be choosing in social media, that would be shown on here, for example Facebook or Twitter, and then this would be saving the data in post data for both the cases, Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much.